Hi, I'm Daniel from Tiger Triangle Technologies. Do you want to have your very own AI assistant running open source LLMs locally on your machine? If so, you're not alone. And there are a lot of reasons to do this. What are the reasons? Well, let's go over a few. Privacy and transparency, offline use. It should be able to run in airplane mode. Customization, cost, ability to choose different models, and reduce ideological censorship, which is a whole another topic, but it depends on what model you're running. And that's just to name a few of the reasons. So if you're wanting to run your own local AI assistant, I have good news for you. There are ways to do this. And one of the easiest ways is to use Ollama. In this Ollama Fundamentals course, I'm going to walk you through how to get started. Let's start with the question, what is Ollama? Ollama is an open source project that makes it easier to work with large language models, LLMs, on your local computer. It focuses on streamlining the whole process of downloading, running, and customizing popular models like the Llama series from Meta. Next, how do I install it? You simply go to their website, ollama.com, click on download, and then choose the right download for your operating system. I want to say kudos to the Ollama team. They have made all this just super simple. So to get started, you go to Ollama's website. It's pretty nice and clean, basic, just the stuff you need. I like it. Right here on the front, it has a download button. It is available for macOS, Linux, and Windows in preview. So we just click download. And in this session, I'll be showing the Windows preview. So you just click on that and download it like normal. I do notice that it requires Windows 10 or later. It does have macOS, requires macOS 11 or later, and then Linux here. And you download and install this with just a curl command. So I already have it downloaded, and so we'll run the setup. So let's get started with the install. Ollama's Windows preview. Let's get you up and running with your own large language model. So we're just going to click install. So now that it's installed on Windows, you can see it in your system tray down here, the little Ollama icon. You have options to view logs or quit Ollama because it is now running and ready to use. I think that on Windows, as long as it's in preview, it will be logging out debug information as well in those logs. But it is ready to use, ready to try. Next, how do I run it? On Windows, at least, and most of them are very similar, you go into the command line and you can just type in Ollama run and then the model. And the first time you do this, it will have to pull the model down, and that will take a while, depending how big it is and your internet speed. But after that, you simply can start prompting. So for a while, Ollama just ran on macOS and in Linux, and just recently it went into Windows Preview. Ollama now runs on Windows, including NVIDIA and AMD support now as well. After installing Windows Preview, then Ollama is available to run in the command line and CMD or your favorite terminal window or in PowerShell. Also, Ollama is available on an API endpoint, and that is served on localhost :11434. Now let's take a look at writing our first prompts, trying it out. So if we open up a command window, so we're going to type Ollama run Llama 2. And what that'll do is it will pull all the files needed, the model file down. As you can see, these are very large files, so you might want to just let it let it cook, and you can come back and try it later. You only have to do this one time though, and once they're downloaded, you can just run it. And you can see here on their GitHub page that this has a list of some of the models, and Llama 2 is 3.8 gigabytes, so they're fairly large files. I do want to point out the note at the bottom of that table. You should have at least 8 gigabytes of RAM available to run the 7 billion parameter models, 16 gigabytes for 13 billion parameter models, and 32 gigabytes to run the 33B models. All right, time for the fun part. Trying out our AI assistant. So this works like ChatGPT and Gemini and Claude and all the rest of them. However, remember, this is running locally on our computer. There's no traffic leaving our network. So you can see it's fully downloaded now, and I'm finally getting back where I am going to do some testing. You can do a / or /help, and you can see what is available. All right, so a way to exit is /by. There's also, this is good to know, you can do a / shortcuts. And probably not shortcuts, but shortcuts, and it will give you some handy shortcuts. We'll go ahead and we'll put in a prompt. All right, give me a list of historical milestones related to artificial intelligence. So remember, our current model we're using is Llama 2. I am going to speed up the video here because it does give a lot of information, and I don't want you to have to watch it slowly stream out. These are just a few of the many historical milestones related to artificial intelligence. And so that's interesting. It gave quite a few that probably you would recognize or remember, especially some of the recent ones. All right, so let's prompt it for a follow-up. Explain what a large language model is. Include an analogy to clarify the concept. Oops. We'll give it another prompt to see how it does with picking up the context. So now we're going to say, explain it. In other words, explain what you just said at a 6th grade level. Okay, so now it's going to talk about toys. It kind of makes sense. You're talking about you younger kids. All right, put this in high gear again. Let's do one more prompt and we'll switch it to something else. Give me a recipe for buffalo chicken dip. So there you have it. It is a classic buffalo chicken dip recipe, and it is always a crowd pleaser. And they give the ingredients and the instructions and some notes. That's really helpful. And that all looks about right. So there you have it. An AI chatbot running on your local machine. And it is, and we've of course been doing this through the command line or the CLI. This can be done other ways. You can do the PowerShell. You can do it through a web API. We'll look at all that later. Just want to keep it simple on this one. Just fundamentally, this is how it's done. It can run, remember, on also Mac OS, Linux, and now Windows Preview, which is really nice. And with that, I'll say /by for now. And until next time, take care.